Hey there, I'm Lee Ullman here with some big news from the National Young Farmers Coalition. We're partnering with Heritage Radio Network on a special season of The Farm Report. It's all about what's happening with the Farm Bill and how it impacts farmers and eaters.
I am growing diversified vegetables on land that's been in our family for 150 years.
And so with the pandemic, gentrification, property values going up, we had to sell the land and we lost it.
Join us as we uncover the untold stories behind this massive piece of legislation that shapes how we grow our food, what we eat, and so much more.
The problems we have had, those are things that come from earlier Farm Bill and USDA policy, right? Like Earl Butz, get big or get out.
You know, it's my responsibility to know not only what I'm eating, but then like how that all came to be. And realize like, wow, like this piece of legislation, all this money, like it's technically something that I support as a taxpayer.
While Congress debates the next Farm Bill, this is not just an invitation to listen. It's a call to action. Be part of the conversation. Subscribe to the Farm Report on Heritage Radio Network, wherever you listen to podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by 100 Bogart Street, a co-working building in Bushwick, Brooklyn. Need a professional place to work from? Learn more by visiting 100bogart.com. Hey, this is Hannah, HRN's program manager. It's HRN's 10th anniversary and now our summer fund drive. So show your support for independent, revolutionary, entertaining food radio by becoming a monthly recurring donor. HRN is powered by a passionate community of thoughtful eaters, and we need each and every one of you to show your support so that we can keep bringing you your favorite food podcasts. It takes a village, and every dollar donated, every listener tuning in is essential to our continued success. So set up a donation for $10 every month. You'll show us that you want to be a part of a bright future for HRN. And you'll get one of our brand new limited edition Pizza Pocket t-shirts. So snag your new favorite tea and show us some love, all for the price of about 2 fancy lattes each month. Go to heritageradionetwork.org/donate today. And thank you.
Hello and welcome to Snacky Tunes. I am one half your host, Darren Bresnitz.
I'm the other half your host, Greg Bresnitz.
We are so excited to be sitting down with the legendary chef, spokesperson,
visionary,
man of the people,
taco visionary,
and he touches on this in the interview, a real revolutionary when it comes to the way we think about food and eating out and what cuisines and culture really matters. Choi. We're talking about his new show on KCET and Tastemade called Broken Bread, where he examines and talks to people about the current state of our food system and what needs to be fixed, what is being fixed, and those who are really in the fight to fix it. It's a great episode. We get very, very deep, and it's a great show. You can check it out. The final episode, Watts, is airing this week or next.
And then we dip into our archives for the performance from Sin Kane, one of our favorites all time, with guests from Johnny Lamb as well, who we equally love, whose episode you can also check out in the archives.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy Snacky Tunes here on heritageradionetwork.org.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes, finger on the pulse, Snacky Tunes.
Hello and welcome to Snacky Tunes. I am one half your host, Darren Bresnitz. We are with Roy Choi, chef and host of KCET's and Taste Meets Broken Bread. Welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Thank you. I got the broken version of Snacky Tunes, only half.
I know. Well, you know, we're on different coasts. We're just trying to hold it down on both sides of the country. Big fan of the series. Absolutely loved it. And one of the biggest things I noticed about it is that community is really at the heart of the series. But then also your responsibility, your personal responsibility to that community. What do you feel is that responsibility, and what does it take to be a community gangster like the gardener, Ron Finley?
Well, I think when you speak of community, we're trying to show in Broken Bread that we're all a community, you know, and I don't mean that in just some feel good, you know, lovey-dovey, you know, way. I mean that, you know, like right now we're in a position in life where everything is so divisive. Everything, you can't express yourself without being attacked. But we're spending all this energy attacking people for the wrong reasons while life and the earth around us is basically decaying, you know, and being destroyed. So Broken Bread is a little bit about let's stop looking at, you know, and blaming each other or creating divisions within each other and look at these problems as humans that we've created and try to have like a little bit of a session together, you know what I mean? Like, you know, just roll it up, have a sesh, and just talk about this stuff and try to, like, we do this in the kitchen all the time. Like, if something's not going right, we try to not be in denial as chefs, you know. You have to sit around in a round table or in a drum circle or together and just say, like, and just be really, really critical and take things apart and not be personal about it. And then if it no longer belongs on the menu, or if the item that you're using or cooking or the way that you approach things is not right, then you have to make adjustments. And so I'm taking that same kind of idea and philosophy that, you know, we have as like an oversight committee as chefs, a no BS filter, and trying to apply that to things like homelessness, drug addiction, police profiling, inner city poverty, food waste, food access, you know, just on and on. The mono agriculture, the overconsumption of animals, you know. So it's just looking at all these things and really trying to lay the facts down of how kind of what's the right word, detrimental they are and how destroying they are, and how can we continue to go at this pace? It just seems unsustainable. Now, the shows also doesn't mean that I'm right or that we're right. I'm just giving you my filter of like, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem sustainable. And let's go out and find people on the ground that kind of don't believe in this BS either and are doing something about it.
I mean, you deal with a lot of people who are on the ground, a lot of these community activists, but you also sort of touch on that to really make impactful changes, you need government and, at the end of the day, even sometimes large-scale corporations to make those big shifts that go out of this block-by-block mentality. But sometimes those government people come up short with, you know, like the closing of LA Kitchen and things like that. So how do you see a better working system between those street activists, the community people, and government and corporations to make significant change?
Well, no, we asked some of those questions on the show. You know, we visit with the mayor of Los Angeles. We visit a company that just went public, like Beyond Meat. We also, you know, we go all the way from delivering one produce box at a time through an organization, supermarket with Olympia, all the way to Beyond Meat that went public, you know, and you know, government in between. I don't have the answer. The show is my exploration of trying to find the answer, and I think a lot of the wisdom comes from the people that we meet, and they throw the ideas out there, and they find ways of creating that bridge, which is, to be honest, it's brick by brick, one step at a time. You know, it's delivering one box of produce to fight, you know, diabetes and processed foods within the inner city. It's one pizza at a time, one slice at a time to save a kid's life that's living homeless. that may be addicted to the opioid drug crisis in America. It's a lot of that, but it's also really trying to open your heart. The show is trying to open your heart and show that compassion has power and it does matter. We keep barreling towards this future and this existence where compassion doesn't seem to have a place in where we're going, and to me it matters, and to me it's something that I try to live by and drive my companies by and now make a show by, and there is power in that, but we're taught to believe that there isn't, and then we're trapped within these conditioned habits that we have, whether it's wasting food or eating burgers or all these things, right? And we complain about the problems of the earth, yet we're conditioned in our actions, and then we're made to believe that it's not okay to not agree with this and to not and to open your heart and be compassionate and help people, that somehow that's going to make your life, less successful. And in the show, we try to show that that's not the case. You can give and get more back,
Yeah, that lack of compassion and that pushback was really surprising because, even in the Watts episode, when you talk about Officer Sunshine, who was against the Crips and the Blood treaty agreement, which was going to help the community overall, that was just one example of just how when people saw real change happening, they didn't actually want it to happen, or some people didn't, because it seemed like there'd be a shift in power of those who were marginalized or those who didn't have a voice, now having a voice either through business or community or things like that. But what was the most surprising part of finding those people who were fighting against to change the system? And was there anyone on there who said, I've been against changing the system, but now I realize I'm actually a part of that system as well. I'm not separated from it.
Not in the people that we covered, I don't think. I think that the people that we covered are still fighting. I call them the earthworms and the ants of this movement. They're the ones shifting the soil, and Ron Finley, is still out there planting gardens. Olympia is out there against all of the corporate processed food that's being infiltrated throughout South Central, delivering one produce box at a time. In an era where the educational system is just spitting kids out that don't fit in, Mara's out there saving one life at a time. Beyond Burger and Vegan Hooligans and everyone would cover, Pop Cultivate, to Hank and Bean, they're all, swimming against stream, trying to find these answers of why are we eating so much meat? Why are we buying this perfect produce? Why are we throwing away food that's perfectly good that we can turn into meals to feed thousands of people, like Bill Bracken does through Chefs to End Hunger, where they like every buffet has 30% leftover in most cases, and that gets shipped off to Bill, and then he turns those into meals that he goes out and feeds the streets of Santa Ana with. So, but there's I don't feel like anyone that we covered feels like they're hopeless or they're in a position where they can't, or that they're a part of the system. There are things that we covered with the mayor where I try to ask, is there a bridge between activism and government? Sure. And he came up with some really good answers and perspectives on how we can work together. And the main thing he said is that government in many cases doesn't know what to do. And those that do know what to do need the scale that government has. Right. So we actually have the ingredients. It's just we as people are unwilling to come together. We're on one side. You see it in every movement or every hashtag or everything. There's always just two sides. Maybe I'm too idealistic, but why not just have no sides? You see hundreds of thousands of people struggling and homeless on the street, right? what does that have to do with sides, you know? And so some things I try to bring up with the mayor is that, you know, I'm all for people coming together and working together and creating bridges. Maybe even us as a city or as a county can come up with some surcharge or tax that we pay forward, that and then put the right people on the oversight committee to make sure that money gets used to develop housing, to reduce homelessness, to reduce hunger. I'd be willing to pay whatever percentage on everything I buy if I knew that that money was going to reduce these problems, you know? And I think we all could.
Yeah.
And so those are some of the ideas and solutions that we continue to try to find.
I mean, creating those opportunities for those who are marginalized has always been part of what kitchens and culinary culture is about, taking people who may not fit into the rest of society and then giving them jobs opportunity. You saw this in the show, Dough Girl, saw it with what you've been doing at Local, you know, you see it in the Watts episode. But then you also bring up this idea about when people go out to eat, it's not just about the cool playlist or the right, you know, food or the ambience, but it's also what is the purpose of the restaurant. So how do you see that idea of spending dollars with those people who are giving those who are marginalized opportunity, giving them a second chance, as part of how you review and rate a restaurant? How do you get people to think about, oh, the money's not just going to micrograins from Santa Barbara, but they're getting kids off the streets?
Well, I see you're wearing a Jonathan Gold sweatshirt right now.
Yeah.
SGV Dumpling Crawl, Jonathan Gold. I mean, Jonathan definitely covered those things about looking at a restaurant beyond just the food and the service, and really understanding the story and hopefully the meaning and the poetry behind it and the people. I'm not knocking fine dining. I'm not knocking where food has come or gone. It's just and even with this company like a Tastemade, you know, or all of the stuff you see on the internet, there is value and there is a place for the beautification, the pop cultural elements, the instant gratification, and the romanticism of food. You know, there's a place for all that, and there's a place for us to develop these romantic stories about these dishes or these chefs or their training or the ingredients or where they were grown or how the pasta was made from Nona's fingertips and it came from this, and the sauce was from the essence of the dew on the tomato in the southern tip of Italy, and it came from here, and you know, and the potato grew in this volcanic soil, and there's all this stuff that is important, and that is the window dressing and the storytelling of food. What we're just trying to say is let's add another layer and another element to that storytelling, which is not only the rare ingredients or the chef's background or the folklore of the recipe, but let's really look at food on a deeper level and the rare people and the people behind the scenes helping those that can't access even that cheeseburger that you put with 5,000 hashtags on a close-up on your Instagram about, you know, all the way up to a Michelin 3-star restaurant. You know, like, there is a world of food that goes outside of the borders of the foodie kind of shareable world, and I feel like that is a part of where we have to evolve as eaters, as chefs, as reviewers, as journalists. We're writing about the same shit, man, over and over and over and over again. Fried chicken and fucking smash burgers, and you know, right now, if I pull up all of the fucking food sites right now, that's all it's about. You know what I mean? And if I pulled it up 5 years ago, that's all it's about. If I pulled it up 10 years ago, that's all it's about. And I'm just saying that we can have that fun, but at what point are we going to evolve to where we include those that are not included in eating into the lexicon of our food world? and that's the thing I continue to fight for, and try to explore and try to show and try to share, because I have feet in both worlds. I have a foot in this food world. I have a place in this food world, and I got love for this food world, and I got many colleagues and friends who write those articles and cook those items, and it's nothing but love for them. And this has nothing to do with obliterating them, but this has to do with, I also have a foot in a world that doesn't get to play in the same sandbox. You know what I'm saying? And so because of that, for me, it's my responsibility to try to find a bridge to bring that together. And at certain points I'm angry, at certain points I'm militant, at certain points I'm quiet and doing it on the streets, behind the scenes, and at certain points I try to make it enjoyable and work with a wonderful team here at Tastemade and a director that really understood and cared, and an editing team that spent countless hours listening to my constant nagging about finding the poetry and everything, and these things are part of our contribution to food journalism, to food culture, to evolving the narrative.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Pull us on from the archives, and then we'll be back with Roy Choi here on Snacky Tunes on heritageradionetwork.org.
Well-educated generation.
Hello, welcome back to Snacky Tunes. I'm sitting here with Roy Choi, chef, host of KCET's and Tastemates Broken Bread. In the transformation episode, Roxana says one of the favorite quotes, my favorite quotes of the series, which is, "I wanted something different. I was tired of the same results." And I felt that that could really be applied to so much of the series and to so much of just, you know, that definition of insanity, of where you do the same thing over and over again, and you expect to have different results. And that really tied into also the weed episode, because the weed episode was 50 years ago, and you say this in the series, like, you would never expect that weed would be legal, and you'd be shooting it on public access, television, sitting here smoking weed, doing a whole show on weed. But I think it talks of the larger picture of shifting public perception, and shifting public perception when it comes to food, and about the waste, and about what we can do to make a change. And knowing the issues that we have at hand, and you go deeply into that, what do you actually think it's going to take? Is it going to take food shortages? Is it going to take some sort of apocalyptic moment? Or do you think we can get to shifting public perception about food, food waste, food insecurity, which is all tied together, before it just goes so bad?
Well, I mean, there are many avenues. First of all, sorry for getting so deep on stuff, but you're asking deep questions. So
that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, man. It's
so
that deep stuff.
If you're listening and this shit's too deep, we come back to.
No, you go to the Instagram. We got like a vegan cheeseburger for you to like.
There are many pathways to that answer. I mean, the apocalyptic side of it. I mean, we are headed there, whether you want to believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's enough data, there's enough information, and there's enough evidence that we are headed there. Like, if we don't stop consuming pigs, chickens, and cows at the rate that we do, in the manner that we do, it's going to have a devastating effect. It already has, but it's going to have an even more devastating effect within the next 50 years. We throw away 40% of the food that we produce, yet homelessness and hunger continue to rise. If we don't confront these issues, these things are just if you look at just history, we've done nothing but grow as a human race. We're at over 7 billion people. We're going to be over 8 billion people soon, and it just continues to grow and grow and grow and grow. And so if we don't confront these issues, there is no indication that it's not going to fix itself, right? It's just going to continue to grow with us. And those problems that we have, which are the byproduct and the broken systems and the broken results of all of this, will continue to grow and multiply. And so, but the weird thing, the weird dichotomy or flip side to all that is, as apocalyptic as it may sound, the solutions are actually closer than you may think. And that's what Broken Bread tries to explore in this first season, is that we take these huge issues, but we're trying to show you that actually if you make these really small choices in your life, whether it's saving a kid's life, whether it's providing an opportunity for someone, out of, and when you talk about broken systems, you're talking about incarceration systems, rehabilitation systems, educational systems, food growing systems, the chef system, the fine dining system, the restaurant system, the food journalism system, all of these things. In our perspective, there's a lot of that is broken. And so what we're saying, but then if you look at that, you can take one person, like you mentioned in Homeboy Industries, and see how a life can change, on a dime. And so then if you take that as a metaphor or an echo chamber to other things, then you can take that one person at Homegirl Cafe from her own mouth and her own words, and then see how a life can change on a dime by just not repeating your same mistakes, personally, but also as a system. Then you can take that all the way to a large corporation like a Beyond Meat, right? Which just went public,
and now is at Burger King.
Both them and Impossible and other companies, depending on the way things develop, will have a huge impact on changing, and a deep effect on the slaughter system within America, because demand creates change. and then so you can see it from one person all the way to possibly a foreseeable future of reducing water waste, land waste, animals' lives, but still providing the necessary protein and umami that you need as a meat eater, right? And so there are ways that we can avoid this. You know, if it's like a novel, we're only like halfway through. There are choices we can make that will take the story in a different way. You know, like the character could be hanging on an edge of a cliff or a building, but something may happen. You know, and we have that opportunity right now. We don't have to just give up because we're hanging on the edge of this building. You know, something in the next 20 pages could be that you kick a window and it opens and you're able to slide through, and it changes everything. You know, and that's what we're trying to find.
Yeah, I think what the series shows as well is that a lot of these problems are identified, where maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, maybe the concept of food desert, or maybe the cost of food waste, or that wasn't maybe as well known or as part of the common language, because at least it's identified. Like at least people are like, okay, we know a burger costs bad. We know these people don't have access to a grocery store. Here's what we're doing. And the people who were doing these one steps at a time, there was this phrase, this relentless incrementalism.
Oh yeah,
which
Roger Edgar.
Yeah, which was great because it was like
Robert Edgar. Sorry,
it's fucking daunting. Like it's very daunting from a bird's eye view, but then you dig deep into this. So I guess it's about baby steps, right? And baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. And you've been doing it for long enough. And I'd love to hear a little bit about your perspective on when do those baby steps add up to leaps and big changes, like days, months, years. Like how long does it really take to see these?
Well, I've lived through one.
Yeah,
I've lived through the food truck, the modern food truck revolution. Right?
Sure.
Where, the reason why Kogi and myself are still here 11 years later, and the reason why we get so much love and that we get love back is that we represent the history before us. We are a lineage of the loncheras and the taco trucks and the vendors before us. They gave us the pass to carry on the legacy. We look at ourselves as like the children of the loncheras, and we combine that with technology and Twitter. And so where I'm leading with this is that before Kogi happened, not within the street community, but outside of the street community, there was racism, right? So everything that you consider to be gourmet or hip or cool now was called roach coach, or was called dirty, or
greasy spoon,
or whatever the case may be, hole in the wall, and it just doesn't apply to that, roach coaches and taco trucks, but you could take any cultural food, hole in the wall, cheap eats, greasy spoons, mini malls, and then roach coaches. Through that, what is it? Relentless incrementalism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, relentless incrementalism.
That last word, I was like, practice it.
One taco at a time, one street at
Sure.
a time, one block at a time, one person at a time. What happens is the whole world changed for me and Kogi and all of us as food people. We started in November. By April, May, people were walking out of their cubicles and starting buttermilk biscuit trucks and pecan pie trucks and banana cream pie trucks.
I was on the other coast.
Yeah.
I was in New York.
You're in New York.
And I could see the change.
And so that was 6 months.
Yeah.
And so I know that's more of a cultural thing than a societal.
But you were leading up to that.
Thing. But that changed. It changed how people wait in line, how people communicate over food, how Twitter and Instagram became now our conversation tool to talk about food. Kogi started all that. You know what I mean? And then now I'm not saying that we were the only ones that continued to develop it, but what we did was we kicked the ball on, and then others were able to take that and turn it into where we are right now. And so that all happened, globally now in 10 years. Can you even imagine not sharing food the way that we do, because we weren't sharing it that way before Kogi, right? So, and then even within, so that's a larger perspective of it, but even in the smaller micro short term, in 6 months, it changed a lot of people's lives, and it changed the world in our own small way. You know, people in London, to India, to Asia, to New York, to Seattle, Austin, Portland. Everyone just started believing in street food. It went from being called roach coach to being called gourmet. You know, you were the same food that many people would have a racial bias towards. We're hiring these trucks and these tacos for their birthday parties and their bar mitzvahs and their their weddings. You know, to me that's a beautiful thing, man. You know, that's a way that we came together as people and as humans and took away the stereotypes and stripped away what we were told of something, and faced our ignorance, faced our fear, and we found a better life together. You know, because now a taco vendor, you know, like the homies at 1986 that are very popular now.
Yeah.
But they've just made a wedding better, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas 12 years ago, they would have never been hired for that wedding.
We had a taco cart at our wedding.
Yeah.
You know?
And whereas 12 years ago, for those, again, outside of the street community, would have never thought to do that. And to me, that's a beautiful thing of how change can happen. And so let's just take that as a metaphor. What if we applied that to the slaughtering of animals, to the profiling and wrongful criminalization of African American youth within the inner cities, to true rehabilitation programs for people coming out of jail, for really focusing and paying attention to the opioid drug crisis that is hitting our youth in America. What if we applied that same, instead of the soundbite stereotype, get off my lawn mentality, what if we applied this, let's hold hands together in a drum circle mentality, you know?
Well, that brings me to what is actually the last thing you say in the series, and that's admitting that we were wrong and I will do something about it.
Yeah.
And the concept of, in this day and age, there's finger pointing and putting fault on people and saying, well, you know, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. And then on the flip side, the people who are not even going as far to say there's fault, there's nothing wrong. You know, the 100 tornadoes that are happening in the middle of the country, that's totally normal and things like that. So what do you think would happen if people could just admit there's something, like, it's broken, we've broken the earth a little bit, we can still fix it?
Yeah.
Like, what could happen from there if everyone just said, all right, we're wrong, and guess what? To fix it, people can make money off of it, like corporations will make it, and people will get reelected. But at the end of the day, society's going to get better.
Well, it could show us that the power in who we are together, and then maybe even spiritually connect us to something beyond ourselves, you know, and really get us to an elevated, not elevated, but just break through to another state of consciousness for us, you know, in this universe, on this earth, on whatever it is. We don't know what's beyond us, but maybe by changing and redirecting some things, we can find out a little bit more about the power of who we are and the synergy in who we are. And, you know, and now, especially now, you know, with the internet and with the information, we have to confront our own denial. And that's the biggest thing that I think that I want this show to accomplish. In many cases, I think some of it lies in the storytelling, because a lot of times when you hear about these devastating new phenomenons, you know, whether it is tornadoes or the melting of ice, or, you know, the rivers being polluted, all these things, they come in many ways, they're packaged in very I don't know, like it's given to you in such a heavy way that you don't want to confront it sometimes.
It's like, how do I stop a tornado?
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you eat one less cheeseburger a month, or, you just go veggie for a couple weeks, you might actually stop a tornado.
You might, because that will affect, how many cows are being slaughtered or how many chickens are being cooped up, right? And these little things will start to repair, because we can't repair all of this damage overnight. So if we are going to agree that the damage is there, we just, like any rehabilitation, you have to start little by little. And but it's just mainly the fact that the information's there, and we have to stop denying it. And then in order for us to stop denying it, we have to start to find a new way to get this information to the mass population. Because right now it's coming in forms of like, oh my God, it's so big and we're fucked and there's nothing I can do. Or it's coming in a very divisive way of two pundits or talking heads saying one side or the other. I think we need to make it more of a, again, like, add some poetry and art to it so that it becomes a part of culture, where almost as if we were all living on an island together, and we, when you look at cultures that live on islands, they have an agreement, a cultural and silent agreement amongst each other to make sure that the land is not destroyed, because there's nowhere to go. You know what I mean? So you have to be in tune and in sync with land. So it's not just about throwing one use thing and throwing it away. It's really utilizing all of the parts of the tree and the leaf and the plant and all these things. But again, it's the information. Like, I'll give you one example. Like, me as a chef, I've been cooking now over 20 years, and I come from I started cooking before really the internet, like right when it just came out. But we, in fine dining, we came from a world where we would cut away everything just to get one small kernel of the middle heart of that vegetable, or whatever the case may be, right? Or a potato. So it went from this world of taking a whole potato and only taking 1 inch of that potato, and the rest of that 95% of that potato would go to waste, times 1,000, times 1,000,000 in every kitchen, right? Because the information wasn't there that should have been seen as wasteful and wrong to begin with.
Different time.
But it was a different time in the 90s, and it was more about glamour and notoriety and soigné essence and all these things. So it's like, but the information wasn't there for anyone to really have a second thought. And then now we've evolved from that, where it was, it was grown, only 5% is used, the rest is thrown away. It's not even reutilized, it's just thrown away. And, and everything is stacked in there, all the food is manipulated to create some sculpture, right? And then that has moved all the way to a complete different way of cooking, which is utilizing every part of the animal, of the stock, of the plant, not only just growing plants but also foraging, and utilizing what's regional and what's around you, and utilizing more organic. So that is something that is really, so there is change.
It's those baby steps.
And
they add up.
And there is evidence of change in things that aren't so deep, quote unquote deep. But this thing that we're confronting, if we don't confront it, I'm telling you, and just if you don't believe me, because I'm not a PhD and I'm not a professional, believe the people that we cover at least, because those people are professionals and PhDs and scientists, and
believe the scientists,
and believe them, because they are saying and showing you and providing evidence that we are headed towards a brick wall.
Well, Roy, thank you for adding some poetry to this discussion. Really appreciate it. If people want to check out the show, check out you, get involved, how can they do that?
Brokenbread.tv. I'm on socials. I'm at Chef Roy Choi. You could go to KCET websites, Tastemade. It's all over the place. It's all out there. If you're traveling online, whatever, you can find it on your Roku or your Apple TV.
It's out there.
It's out there. You know, on a traditional level, it plays at prime time, 8:30 p.m. on Wednesdays on KCET and Tastemade TV. And it's not as depressing as this podcast may portray it as. It's actually a fun show.
It's a fun show, and it does offer a lot of hope, and it does offer you a chance to go, I'm going to get off my couch, and I'm going to get involved. And look, volunteer once a month. Start there. See how much you like it.
Start there.
So thank you so much. We have another song from the archives, and then a live performance here on Snacky Tunes on heritageradionetwork.org.
1, 2, 3, 4. How much do I have to push you? How much do I have to clean up? Walk inside. Hey now, hey now, hey now. Standing right in front of you. I'm a bush, baby. You turn me into a bush, baby. Nobler in their mind. Or to take arms against the careless way of thought. Hey now, hey now, hey now. 3 whole months and now I think I'm a person, baby. You can get to a person, baby. You turn me into a worship, baby. You turn me into a worship, baby. You turn me into a worship. Turn me into a worship. You turn me into a worship.
This episode is brought to you by 100 Bogart, a new building in Bushwick, Brooklyn that provides offices, co-working, event spaces, and a brand new podcast recording room. Have you been dreaming of starting your very own podcast in Brooklyn? You can now rent space in 100 Bogart's custom-built podcast room to record interviews, voiceover, and commentary. The room is fitted out with 2 microphones, mixing board, and a MacBook Pro running Pro Tools. You can rent the space by the hour, and a rental of an hour or more includes a 100 Bogart co-working pass. That means complimentary coffee, tea, and access to your own desk for the rest of the day. So what are you waiting for? Get started on your next audio project. 100 Bogart has the space and amenities you need to kickstart your podcast. Learn more at 100bogart.com or call their team at 718-362-3539.
Are you enjoying our podcast? Heritage Radio Network has lots more. I'm Ethan Frisch.
And I'm Jenny Dorsey.
And together we host Why Food, a podcast about innovators, career changers, and entrepreneurs who are changing the face of food.
How did these folks decide to hit the brakes, start over, and become inspiring chefs, entrepreneurs, farmers, and activists they are today?
Browse episodes of Why Food wherever you listen to podcasts and on heritageradionetwork.org.
All right.
All right, here we go. I mean, every time I think that we've had a band that is squeezed in here, someone
comes in and steps in.
And they fit in. We are...
I mean, let's just go through the gear in the room. We got an amp. We got a ton of amps outside.
3 amps.
3 amps. Congas.
Floor toms.
2 floor toms.
2 floor toms.
Drum pad. Vibe.
Own mixer.
A bassist.
Bass.
A sound guy.
Sound guy. I kind of like that you described your drum machine as vibes. With his vibes right there. Litany of pedals.
Yeah, we got a lot of pedals in here.
I don't see them.
They're there. Welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Thank you.
Our first fall guest. Although it's still kind of summerish outside. Who are you guys?
The name of the band is Sin Kane. Brooklyn band. I'm here with Mikey, Freedom Heart, Ish, the Man of Steel, Aaron, and Jay Tram.
So why don't you give our listeners a little background on where you guys come from, how you came together?
I started the band a while ago.
Oh, introduce yourself too.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm Ahmed Galib, and I write the music for the group. And I started the band almost 7 years ago. I was living in Ohio. I'm originally from Sudan, and I put out 2 records and kind of got picked up by a bunch of different bands to tour. So I kind of put the group in the back burner. But then I moved to New York, and I decided I wanted to move on forward with this project. So I revamped it. I met Jay Tram when we were playing in Yeasair together, and through, living in New York, I met Mikey Freedom Heart here, and he brought along the rest of the crew, Ish and Aaron Steele.
So when you pick up a group after, you have 2 records and you go on tour with a bunch of them and come back, what did you learn and bring into this time around that was different from the first time out?
Oh man, well, I had like the blessing of touring the world and really kind of see a bunch of people do the right thing and a bunch of people do the wrong thing. So I mean, it really puts a lot into perspective. I know what I'm getting myself into now. When before I was like 23-year-old kid, didn't know anything. I was just kind of making music all willy-nilly, and now it's given me a lot of focus.
No names, but examples of one person doing the right thing and one person doing the wrong thing. You can choose which is first.
Yeah, choose whatever you want.
Yeah. But no names. We don't call people out.
Mr. X and...
Well, yeah. I mean, I've worked with a lot of really like super organized people who just are very honest and straight up. I mean, that's one big thing I've learned, is to be straight up and honest. And if you're not straight up and honest, then it creates a lot of anxiety and tension. And that's just, I mean, I guess that's all I can really say. I mean, the right thing is to be honest. The wrong thing is to drink too much.
He's talking to me.
Get it together, Mikey Freedom Heart.
God.
But so now that you're back in Britain, so how long has this incarnation been together?
Not even a year. I mean, Mikey and I and J Tram, we started playing together in what, like December or
it was
January?
After the only snow that happened last year, so it was either
in January.
October.
No, it was the last weekend in October.
Yeah,
the 28th.
Yeah, it started a little like slow. I was touring with Eleanor Friedberger at the time, and so I didn't really have as much time as I do now. And then we had a few bass players that we played with, but Ish came through in May, and we've been playing with him. And then just for this, because we want to do something special, we brought Aaron along. But
yeah, why don't we get it to you guys? Need like 10 seconds of noise and then start it, or do you guys feel?
I think we're
see.
Jack, how do we sound out there? Can I get a thumbs? Okay. All right, so let's get just for the room, and then we can start.
All right. Start over. I fucked up. 2.
That was a test.
3, 4. above, feel that lightness of the wave. We all lighten up, we all light up in the face. Lightness of the wave. We all lighten up, we all light up in the face. Feel your blood warm up, falling drunk in love's haze. They're just starting up, never too much of a day.
Awesome. You guys are going to do us a big disservice because now everyone's going to want to bring all this gear in because it sounds so good. So
Go big or go home.
It's one guy on acoustic guitar. Yeah, he's got a lot of effects. That vibes pad is really putting out a lot of vibes.
We haven't even used it yet.
Oh, really? Oh.
Vibes pad comes on the next one.
Oh, okay. That is amazing. That's a really amazing sound. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're kind of live mixing here. It sounds awesome, guys. So now the band's together. New record, right?
Yeah. The record's coming out next month, October 23rd on DFA.
Oh, okay. So how did that come about? Or what was the recording process since you guys have only been together for less than a year?
Well, I played drums on it, but these and other people came and did random things.
I recorded it pretty much by myself. I did maybe 85% of the record myself, and then in the process of recording, because I played so much with J-Tram, I just kind of had him come in and redo pretty much all the drums. And Ira from Yesayer came and he recorded a little bit on, he redid some bass, and my friend George, Twin Shadow, he ripped a pretty gnarly guitar solo on the record. And,
special guest Shred.
Yeah.
It's
exactly what
it's when you say that because I was listening to the opening track we played, and I was like, there's such a Yesayer vibe to this. But in your own way, but the opening is just very strong Yesayer-esque type of thing in all the best ways possible.
I just tried. I just kind of figured that's what was going to happen. So I was like,
which track is that?
Jeeper Creeper. I decided Ira plays on that song. Actually.
Yeah, which is the best way that you can have a Yesayer sounding song is by having the dude from Yesayer play. That kind of squashes all type of. I just kind of, call a spade, I guess. No, it's good. And so then how did the DFA thing come around? Shout out to John.
Yeah, actually, I think John might be listening.
And shout out to Chris.
John and Chris. Hey, guys.
What up, guys?
John was formed. I grew up listening to DFA records, geeked out on John when he came on the show.
Oh, nice. Yeah. He's a lord. He's a true lord. Well, what happened was I released Jeeper Creeper and Runnin' on my own, and just kind of the whole Runnin' thing it did a lot better than I expected. And just randomly in April, I got an email from him, and he was really interested in the track, and he said he wanted to hear some more music. So I sent him the record, and he really liked it, and it just kind of, one thing led to another. It's pretty cool.
I mean, is it really just that easy?
No, it's really not that easy. But
I mean, we like to. I mean, one of the things we like to show on kids like that it is. I mean, you can play it off of like that easy, but it wasn't that easy.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the record's been done for almost 2 years,
right?
And I've gone through like many different ups and downs with it, and it's finally now just starting to like see the light of day. I've heard the music so much, and playing it live has really kind of given it new light, but it's been done for a long time.
I mean, for musicians who've been at it but maybe been toiling in a little bit of the unknown, and now being able to come out on DFA, it's like, can you like share one of like your lowest of lows, and like to the point that you actually got through it and got to the other side?
How long do we have?
We got a couple minutes for that answer.
The lowest of lows, man. Well, I recorded. Man, when we stopped playing with Yesair, it was kind of J-Tram and I. We had like a year off before we started everything, and I didn't really have anything in the pipeline at all, and the record was finished, and it seemed like there was some interest, but nothing really happened at all. And I had like a few rehearsals with a bunch of people that didn't really work out, and I didn't really know at all what I was doing. I didn't know like if anything was going to happen. Ryan here, my roommate, like has always been like pretty encouraging and excited about everything I've been doing, but I don't know, man. Like it's when you're around a lot of like really creative and talented people that are succeeding so well, and your project doesn't seem to be succeeding on that level. You sensationalize all your feelings, and you think like I had like 80 cents in my bank account and was living in New York, and was in a really crappy relationship with somebody, and
So you're saying roommates?
That's all changed.
Yeah. Roommates, bandmates, got you through it.
Yeah. These are like this is like my family. Everyone here has really been super encouraging and exciting.
I mean, I feel like it's important to share those stories alongside I got the record deal that's coming out next month, just to kind of give a little hope to all the people who are writing good music and toiling alone, that like everyone feels those lows. Like there's not a single person that has not felt that epic soul crushing low. I
once lost the Yesair band computer on tour and thought I was going to get fired, and
it was after you set J-Tram's pants on fire.
Yeah.
How did you lose it?
I set J-Tram's pants on fire. I lost the band computer, and I was...
There's a longer story to that, which we don't have to...
Yeah, we don't have to...
Was that part of the drink too much advice?
That wasn't drink too much. That was... another...
Why don't...
We'll leave it at that. All right, let's
don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do drugs. Let's rip another song. How about that?
Okay.
What are we going to hear?
We're going to hear Runnin', the song we played a little bit earlier.
Great. Featuring Bugs.
I don't mean to let you down. I gotta keep on running till my body's all but broken down. Gotta keep on running. To
So many vibes. Can we get one of those applause sounds, please, in the room? Just
that one.
I couldn't hear the vibes. That was part of the problem.
Yeah, the vibes can be felt all around. That was amazing. Some New Year's vibes. So you have some upcoming shows, right? You just got done with the residency at Zebulon.
Yeah.
How was? I love that place, and actually, your vibes fit quite well in Zebulon.
It was a vibe. It was definitely that's definitely what it was.
They sell the best.
Each time we say that word.
Oh, yeah. There's one more
Shout out to Caveman.
I enjoy their potato chips they serve at Zebulon's. They have certainly good bagged potato chips. Really?
Yeah, their potato chips are great.
Right?
Yeah.
Every week.
The mozzarella sandwich.
Yeah. They actually have surprisingly secretly good bar food. Well,
yeah, they do.
Really? Yeah. It's a bunch of French guys, right, that own it?
Yeah. They're the French Bohemian.
French.
Yeah, they're.
It's definitely. When you say French Bohemian, I just think like a carafe of wine in hand at all times.
Yeah.
I think Zebulon is definitely a place of older Brooklyn.
Yeah,
like it's a movie thing, jazz, DJ, cafe.
Older Brooklyn.
Older Brooklyn, like 5-10 years ago. Yeah. We live not older like shootout druggy Brooklyn.
No.
Yeah.
We live right down the street from there, and it's always a scene. Don't blow up our spot. I mean, our spot's getting blown up by a wrecking ball in 3 months anyway. Yeah. So
that's the new Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's the new Brooklyn. That's that new about. So where are you? Where you coming? You're playing a couple shows in September, right?
Yeah, we're playing Music Hall of Williamsburg on Sunday the 23rd with Lee Scratch Perry, which we're all really
no big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah,
we're playing at Death by Audio on the 27th with Sun Ra, and we're playing the DeKalb Market. They're having a big blowout party at the end of the month on the 30th.
So who's playing the DeKalb Market Party?
Man, I don't know.
Okay, that's a good place. Yeah, that place is. It's like this place. It's also shipping containers. It's all shipping. Yeah. Have you been out there?
Yeah, we go. I mean, Mikey lives right next to it, so we always grab coffee. And there's this really awesome place that makes these like chicken biscuit sandwiches that are just so.
Can you please elaborate?
Sandwiches. Yeah.
Please elaborate. Like, is it the biscuit and the chicken in there, or like what makes it so?
Chicken's biscuit,
the buttermilk biscuit with gravy and fried chicken in the middle.
It's a coleslaw.
You guys cook a lot? You guys got your places to eat on the road?
Oh yeah. There's a lot. Bill's in Brighton, Brighton, England.
That's
is
the only spot.
One of the
Bill's.
Shout out to Sheets.
Big up the Bill's.
Yeah, what's Bill's?
Bill's is like a really awesome market, like a farm market place. It's like everything is organic and everything is.
And he's always changing, big lofty spot, you
know. You can go in there. You go in there. It kind of looks like just like a farmer's market, but with a lot of tables. Everything is just really fresh and delicious. And when you go on tour, that's the one thing that kind of blows your mind because you're eating like mustard packets and Coors Light all day.
It's a shot of mustard in the Coors Light, right?
Yeah.
Like a lime with a ketchup chaser. Awesome. Really so let's get all the nuts and bolts. Where can people find you? Where can people get your music? Website, Friendster, lipsticks and cigarettes profile. You always make that joke, and it always works. It's a new band every week, and they haven't heard the other shows. Check out our podcasts.
Yeah. Sinkane.com. Sinkane. Sinkane Twitter, Sinkane Raw on Facebook. What else?
Well, and then DFA.
Records, yeah.
When is it? When's the release date?
October 23rd.
Can you pre-order?
Man, this should be coming up pretty soon. Chris, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I know he's listening.
Well, how about we say that if they email Chris, I'll put him on the pre-order list.
Yeah.
And
he'll really enjoy that too.
Release party? Dance party?
October 23rd. We're playing a show at the Brooklyn Bowl.
Oh, perfect.
So
fried chicken?
So
much fried chicken. Hey, here's my question to you. What is your process of eating when you play Brooklyn Bowl? Are you a before show eater, or do you gotta wait till after?
Yeah. Well, I really like the fried chicken, and I gotta do that afterwards, or else.
Completely divided on this.
I'm kind of like a wingman during the set type of thing, just in between. Yeah, if I
greasy fingers.
Yeah, I get a dozen. I get 6 on table 1, 6 on table 2. But yeah, it's so tempting because you're there for so long, and you want to dig in. But that's
I mean, it is.
That's the reward.
It is a very good place to eat.
3 more songs till chicken wings.
Yeah.
2 more songs till chicken wings.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
1 more song till boozy milkshake, right?
I can only... Well, I can't do that one. That's the ender.
It?
If I have that, then it's
that's on the way out. Margarita in one hand, boozy milkshake. Anyway, all right. 1 more song. Then we're out. Yeah. Then we're off to Jersey. Off to Jersey to the aunt's house for Rosh Hashanah. Thank you guys for all coming in here. This was totally worth all the effort.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. What's the last song called?
It's called Young Trouble. This is a new joint.
Oh, and hold on. Sorry. One big shout out tomorrow night up at Dinosaur Barbecue. Marcus Samerson and a whole bunch of Harlem chefs are doing an incredible food event. Check it out. It's gonna be awesome.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
I jacked it up a little bit so we can.
Okay.
We talk about food, we talk about music with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. For our freshest content and to learn more about our 10-year anniversary celebration happening all year long, subscribe to our newsletter. Enter your email at the bottom of our website, heritageradionetwork.org, and connect with us on Instagram and Twitter at heritage_radio. You can also find us at facebook.com/Heritage Radio Network.
Heritage Radio Network is a nonprofit organization driving conversations to make the world a better, fairer, more delicious place. And we couldn't do it without support from listeners like you. Want to be part of the food world's most innovative community? Subscribe to the shows you like, tell your friends, and please join the HRN family by becoming a member. Just click on the beating heart at the top right of our homepage. Thanks for listening.